So here I am, just surfing the web, going through endless amounts of slop content, just in order to find something I can react to, a viral moment or some stupid information. I'm half brain dead, but then I realize that, you know what, I haven't actually made a video about a topic I know very well about. And that is, how do you start a business? Without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so here are some of the things I will talk about in today's video, how to start a business. I will show you how to find a business to start or what you should do, the difference between business to business and business to consumer and what it needs to succeed in both of them. How to get started with business to business. We're going to be focusing on B2B because that is my specialty. The tools you'll need to get started. Approximately the budget, how to find people who to sell to and who they are, like what's their profile, how to expand the business, when to hire, and a little bit more. Okay, so how do you actually start a business? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to see what you have experience in, right? Don't be that guy who thinks you can just go one day, start your own business with not knowing anything about the industry or the area you're wanting to do business in, and you're going to succeed in 3 months. That's not how it works. Experience always trumps everything. Now, you have to also be willing to work hard and know how to sell yourself. Yes, of course, that is 100% also part of this whole game. But unless you're someone who has a lot of capital resources and are smarter than like 98% of us, and you can afford to fail countless of times before you manage to figure it out and have taught yourself how to do the actual thing you want to do what makes it a lot easier, which is having experience in what you want to start. So back in 2022, when I first started my own business, which is a go-to-market agency. What a go-to-market agency is, it is basically go-to-market. It literally is in the name. I help businesses go to market. So if you have a software product you have just created, you have first few customers from your network, but you're looking to expand, you come to a guy like me and I help you create a blueprint, a roadmap, and workflows how to actually get into the market. We find your ideal client profile, figure out why your initial buyers bought into your product or your service, what you did for them, gather up some testimonials, and then we start with outreach campaigns through things like cold calling, cold email, LinkedIn outreach, and any other form of cold outreach out there. There's also a marketing side of things, but I don't do marketing. I do purely go-to-market cold outreach. So that's what I do. Now, I'm not saying I was a pro when I started. I'm probably still not a pro, but I knew what I was doing to a small degree because I'd been in sales since 2018 and I've been doing business development since 2021. So I kind of had an idea of how to start and what to start with. And even with all of that, I still took 7 months to sign my first client. Like, it took a while. It was it took a while to get there. Very stressful, a lot of hard work, day in, day out. Yeah, so the common path is, there's a second path, but this is more relevant to if you're wanting to start a software versus a service, is if you have a network and it still counts that you should know the industry well, you can go interview 50 to 100 people in that industry, figure out what is that one solution that they would be willing to pay for that one problem that they would be willing to pay for if you could bring the solution to that. And then find the average across those 50, 100 people and boom, you have a business there. However, that takes it's a little bit more complex, and like I said, it only really works if you want to create and sell a product. I'm going to be focusing on service-based. As I said, this all works again if you're experienced. Duh. All right, now before I continue, let me talk about the difference between B2B and B2C, business to business and business to consumer. Business to business is one business selling a solution, a service, or a product to another business. Two businesses communicated together, came together, made a deal to use one or the other service or product. Business to consumer is when you have a product or a service that you offer individual consumers, everyday people, and you're not selling to a business. Let's say, for example, like Snapchat or Instagram or whatever, that is B2C. They're selling directly to us. versus B2B, someone like me selling my services to other businesses. Now, B2B, in my opinion, is far easier to get started in. Why? Because all you need, literally all you need, is a number, is a dialer, an ability to call internationally and locally, a list of prospects, and a service that you can offer. That's it. Bob's your uncle. Dial to your heart's content, book meetings, and eventually close a client. B2C, it's a lot harder. The ideal method is with B2C is that you already have an audience that you could sell to. So if you have 1 million followers, you sell to 50,000 of them. Even if you're selling it like $10 to $100 for your product or your service, whatever you're selling, which is probably a more ideal product, boom, you have a business, right? If you don't have an audience, you need to have a big budget for marketing in order to be able to market your product to customers, because you can't just cold call random people to buy a product. It'll take you years just to reach your total addressable market. You need marketing. The thing with marketing is you're going to burn through a lot of capital before something sticks. So that's why B2B for the win, always. So once you have your service idea, the very first thing that you have to make sure before you get into the website, etc., blah, 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 you want to find 2 or 3 people, businesses that you can work for free. This is important. Don't listen to those people out there who say you can start working and charging people thousands of dollars for your service if you don't have any testimonials or references. It just doesn't work like that, okay? I did it that way, but it took me 7 months to sign my first client. Many people said no because I couldn't provide them with a testimonial or a reference. I got lucky. So work 2 to 3 customers for 2 to 3 months, show them that you can deliver on your service, get a testimonial from them, get a reference from them, then you have people who are willing to back you on your claims when you're looking for new customers to charge for your service. So that's it. Now follow me into my computer and let's look at all the things you need today to start your B2B service business. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to create a website. Now, yes, there are people out there who are going to say you don't even need a website to start. In theory, that is true. But in practicality, people are going to want some sort of social proof, internet proof, whatever it is, that you're a real business, that you exist, you're not just a scammer who's going to disappear once they pay you. And for that, a website and a LinkedIn account, which I'll get to later, are the most important things. Now, for building a website, it's not like back in the day, you need to put in a lot of effort for this at all. It's very simple. You go to Claude, you can even use the free account, and you ask it, okay, you give it your logo. I created my logo on Canva. You say, can you help me program a new website for my new agency rebrand? Okay, and then you give it what the company is about, who you help, the industries you work with, and then the different types of packages that you offer. Okay, it's that simple. And then it'll build you something, and then you can go through iterations. Like there'll be syntax errors, there'll be things you're not happy with. So you just go through up until you finally find a design that works for you. Now, once you have a design that works for you by going back and forth with Claude, it'll end up giving you a HTML code with a preview. So you can, before you have to upload your website anywhere, you can see, okay, does the preview work for me? Is it good? Do you like the pages it created? So I've got 2 pages. I've got my index, which contains what we do, who we help, and who we work with, which is the same thing, our packages, and our unfair advantage. Now my other page, a second page for the website, is on my clients, the people who I have served and who have given me a testimonial. So once that is done, you download both of these folders, you save it to a single file on your laptop or your PC, and so that's a desktop. You title it whatever your company name is .html. Now, the second step is you go to GoDaddy or any other domain provider there is out there. So let's say you want to create a company calling for b2b.com. Just an example. It's a shit domain, but it's an example, okay? So you wait, oh look there, calling for b2b.com is available. So you buy this. Now buy this one and buy multiple others that are available. So like calling for b2b.live, calling for b2b.xyz, calling for b2b.biz.me. Buy 5 to 10 of these domains, and I'll get to this why it's important later. So buy the cheapest ones you can find with using the main one, something like .com, .io or something like that as your primary domain. Once you have that, then you go to, you'll register, you'll pay, blah, blah, blah. Then you go to a platform called Netlify. Netlify is a self-hosting platform. It gives you 300 credits per month free, which is a lot. As you can see, I'm hosting 4 different things on here, 4 different things, and I still don't pay for it, okay? So you add a new project, basically what this looks like, you add a new project, you name it, blah, blah, blah. And what there's gonna be is gonna be a drag and drop thing, which you can literally just do it here. That file that I spoke about, you drag and drop it here, and it'll populate and deploy it for you. It'll take all care of it automatically. The only thing you have to do after doing that is domain management. You head to domain management after your site has been deployed. You add a domain alias and you make it your main domain. And you have to do this working between Netlify and GoDaddy. Basically, you add your domain here. You're going to have to change the, what do you call it? The name servers. You're going to have to change from GoDaddy servers to Netlify, but it's basically it's a step-by-step guide here. It's not very complicated. 2 minutes, and then you have to wait like 10 minutes for your domain to transfer, and then you'll be live and you'll be able to access your website. It's really that simple. Look at that, a fully built website, everything that a potential prospect of mine needs to know: industry, services, AI engine, results, insight, and the second page I talked about the clients who I have helped so far, who've given me a testimonial. Now, after the website has been created, step number 2, and this is even more important than a website, is register your business. People are going to say, oh no, you can take care of that later, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. No, you need to register a business. If you're in the US, register an LLC. If you're in South Africa, register a Pty Ltd. If you're in Europe, whatever the same thing is over there for a privately held company, you need to do that. Why? Because when you start charging for your services, you're going to need to send invoice. You're going to have to open a business account, especially if you're taking payments internationally, so that you can process these payments, because they can't just pay you into a local bank account. It doesn't work like that. So you need to have a registered business even to open these accounts. So once you've registered a business, once you create the website, now you're ready to start prospecting. I'm assuming at this point you've already figured out what you want, what your service is, right? That's why we're already here. I can't tell you what to do. I can just suggest what you take a look at. Look at your experience, look at what you're good at, and then you could potentially have a service business there, okay? Next thing you want to do is go to Apollo.io. Now, there are many competitors to Apollo. For me personally, why Apollo is the best, because they're still relatively affordable. One of the best out there, ZoomInfo, they're like 5 times the price, okay? And the nice thing about Apollo, now what Apollo is, it's a data enrichment and B2B data platform. They contain companies, like a database of 100 million companies and 300 million people. Now, you can find contact details, numbers, LinkedIn accounts, and personal emails and business email addresses for people you're wanting to reach out to, all from Apollo. Why Apollo, in my opinion, is the supreme one, because it's relatively affordable, and it's got the waterfall enrichment, which waterfall enrichment means it looks at the Apollo platform for the number. If it can't find the number on Apollo, it goes to one of its integrator partners. If it can't find the number there, it goes to the next integrator partner. If it can't find it there, it goes to the next integrator partner. So it's this waterfall effect up until it eventually finds a verified phone number. Yes, there are of course cases where no platform has a verified number, but that's usually not the case. So that is why Apollo is God tier. Now, I'm not paid to promote any of these products, FYI. I mean, my YouTube channel on the side should tell you exactly that. So once you've signed up to this, the next step is go to HubSpot. HubSpot is a CRM platform. Now, what a CRM platform is it's a customer relationship management platform. What is this? So instead of tracking every single conversation you've had manually by using a spreadsheet, like you spoke to John at Google and he said he's interested but follow up in 2 weeks, and you do this across like 100 different prospects, it'll drive you nuts. Instead of that, open a free HubSpot account. Their freemium model is insane. I still use their freemium model because I don't need any of the advanced features. Integrate it with your Apollo, so you'll be able to see, and once you integrate it, all your contacts that you've reached out to will populate here, and you'll see they have different statuses. One is open, one is unqualified, one's in progress, one is new. Same for accounts/companies. So it'll automatically keep a track if it's integrated. Then you have your pipeline area, which the pipeline area or deal area is where you keep track of your deals. This is really the where everything matters. Now, the reason this is because instead of having to, again, keep track of everything through a spreadsheet, you can just literally, okay, you have an intro call scheduled, you have qualified to buy, you have a presentation call scheduled, you have a decision period, contract sent, closed one, trial period, closed one, a full client, churned, closed loss, and qualified. Now, your closed loss and unqualified, sometimes your churned and your closed loss are your golden tickets. Because in 6 months' time, you follow up with these people and see if you can create another deal. If you don't have a CRM, you're just going to be playing this guessing game and hoping that you manage to keep track of everything. Now, once that is done, you head over to a platform called Trellis. Now, remember, I said you need a dialer that can dial internationally. Trellis is that. Now, this price seems a lot, $150 a month, but what's included? 8 international numbers that you can get to call pretty much anywhere in the world, okay? You don't pay extra for minutes or anything like that. It has both power and parallel dial. So if you're dialing 50 people per day, you go power dial, which means it automatically runs from one number to the next. You integrate this once again with Apollo. You create a task list of 100 dials or 200 dials, whatever. You hit the dial button and it starts running through the numbers. If you do power dial, it's going to run through them one by one. One ring, hang up, no answer, whatever, goes to the next one, automatically. Now with the parallel dialer, it can run through up to 5 numbers at the same time. I usually do 3 numbers at the same time. So what happens, it dials 3 prospects at once. If one of them answers, it hangs up the other 2 and puts them next in queue unless the call has ended with them already. So it's a way how you can get through like 400 numbers in like an hour or 2 instead of spending your whole day on 100 numbers. So once again, integrated both with Apollo and your HubSpot, because the more your things are integrated, the easier it is going to be to keep track of everything and the less work it's going to require. Now, earlier I did mention Claude, remember? So I use Claude for everything, not my brain work. Like I don't want to go brain dead. That's not why I use Claude, but I use it because I already know what I want, how I do things, how I operate, how I work. So I just have it automated for me. Like when I create client proposals, when I create a client proposal deck, a workflow, a qualification tool, an email outreach tool, just so that I don't have to sit there and do manual work for 10 hours a day instead of just focusing on what the primary bread and butter of the business is, which is booking more meetings for my customers. I can focus on doing that while Claude handles the bulk of the manual work so that I don't have to focus on that. You get what I'm saying? So which allows me to have to hire a lot less people in order to be able to do that. Okay. Next thing you want to do is go to a platform like PrimeForge, Smartly, you can do it, but they're a little bit more expensive. You can do MailReach, yeah. Basically, you want to buy ready, warmed inboxes, like mail inboxes. Why? Because, so the reason you want to do this in principle is because you don't want to use your main business email for cold emails, because there's a risk of, if you send cold emails, there's a risk of you getting a spam filter. And no, I don't want you to say hi to me. Get lost. Go away. There's a risk of spam filters getting triggered and your email address, all your emails starting to go to the spam folder and eventually blacklisted. Then you can't use your email anymore and your main domain. So that's why I said you want to buy multiple domains and why you want to buy multiple inboxes, so that you don't have to worry about one of them going to spam. And also, the more inboxes you have, the more volume of cold emails you can send. And the recommended amount of cold emails is 20 to 30. I always say 20 per inbox per day, no more than that, because you want to avoid getting spam, right? Now, I personally don't send emails anymore, and you'll see that when I go to SmartLead next, which is my email sequencing tool, because I just find emails don't work for me as well anymore. I rely on cold calling and LinkedIn DMs. Now, why you want to buy already warmed and ready to use mailboxes is because if you don't, you have to do the whole process manually, and this can take a week or more if you don't know what you're doing. It takes me like 2 days, so it'll take you like a week or two if you really don't know what you're doing. Why? Because you have to buy the inboxes from Google or Outlook. You have to then connect the domains with the inboxes. You then have to set up all the correct records like the SPF, the DMARC, and DKIM, which is basically just records that allow your inboxes to actually be received by other inboxes. It's complicated, we'll go into that. You have to warm them up to make them look like they're regular inboxes that use regular activity. It's a whole process. That entire process with the warm-up can take up to 3 weeks. Whereas this, Google Workspace, Microsoft, pre-warmed mailboxes, automated DNS setup, the compliance rates are good, ready in 30 minutes, you're done. You don't need to worry about it. Like I said, email is not crucial, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, SmartLead, for me, they're the GOAT when it comes to email sequencing. So once you have your email accounts ready, you can connect them to SmartLead. You can set them up for a daily limit, and you can get ready to go. So once you have them connected, you go to your email campaigns, you create an email campaign, the first email on day 1, second email on day 3, the third email on day 5, whatever it is, right? And that's your email sequence, because the more touch points you have towards a specific prospect, the more likely they're going to open your email, respond to your email, or book a meeting or start a conversation with you. Now, the last step of what you need is a LinkedIn profile. Now, I know a lot of people out there hate on LinkedIn. I hate LinkedIn. It has become a slop fest. However, it is one of the best ways to build social proof and get organic prospects. It's taken me 3 years to get to this point, but now people are starting to reach out to me and interested in my services, want to know more, etc., etc. And LinkedIn, it's like social proof. You build a profile, you build followers by posting regularly, posting high-value content that people enjoy reading, or that they find funny or interesting or whatever. So that's how you build social proof. And you have to make sure the content you're posting is 70 to 80% of the time is around the topic that your service or even product is in. Because if you're just posting random stuff, no one's gonna know what you do. And your profile has to be optimized. So as you can see here, people know by the heading, especially the people I'm reaching out to, they know what I do. It's 115 qualified pipeline generated. Go-to-market partner for B2B SaaS founders. So now when I message someone and they're going to see David Mostert, 150 million in qualified pipeline, they're already going to know what I do before even looking at my profile. That's why it's important. Okay, so LinkedIn, even though it has a bad rap, I agree, it should have a bad rap, but it's still a high valuable platform for social proof and organic prospecting. Now, to summarize everything we need, so we need to create a website, we need to register a business, we need to buy multiple domains, we need to buy already warmed up and ready to use inboxes, we need to sign up to Apollo, HubSpot, and Trellis and SmartLead and integrate all of them so that everything you can track everything and everything can work almost as this well-oiled engine. So yeah, that's it. Let's go back to the phone. The reason I said I'm only going to focus on service-based businesses and not on like a product or a software is because firstly, a service-based business is what I run. And a product, it's a whole different ball game. You need to go through a validation period. You need to validate your product. You need to build your product. Then you need to get the first initial users and build and iterate based on the feedback they're giving you. Then you need to go to market. If you need to raise funds, you need to raise funds. It's a whole complicated, long process. Versus a service-based business is a lot easier to operate and to get started. So I'll end off with two more things, and that is exactly what I promised, which is we will talk about the budget for a service-based business, and then how to expand the business and when to hire. Okay. So budget, when I started my agency, I was paying, so things have gotten a little bit more expensive, but I was maybe paying $500 a month to operate everything, to buying the initial domains, the monthly subscription for tools, the inboxes, etc., etc. So a lot of these tools that I used back then, a lot of them now can do the tools within one platform, or like less than, back then you needed to use like 10 platforms, now you only need to use 5. So you can get away with spending like $300 a month or even less. Because realistically, all you need is a free HubSpot, a website which I showed you is free. You need to register the business, that costs money. Depending on which region, it's either going to cost a fortune or pretty much nothing at all. And then you need to buy the data platform and the calling tool. That's all you realistically need. So that's number one. So between $300 to $500 a month with the initial setup costs for the domains, etc. Now, how to expand the business. Now this is interesting, and this is one of the mistakes I made. You think that in order to expand your business, you have to keep prospecting and selling to more and more and more people. What I would say is, if you get to a point where you have 3 full-time customers, like not trial, not part-time clients, but they're paying you your full package, then you stop prospecting for yourself unless you've already hired someone, and you focus purely on your service delivery for your customers, so you can ensure the highest quality and highest output of service delivery for your current customers. Because if you don't, and if you still focus on bringing in new business, your quality of service delivery for your current customers will go down, and they'll eventually churn and look for another service provider. So instead, focus on your current customers, and once you've been serving them for 3 to 6 months and you've done an incredible job for them, use them for looking for referrals. Ask them, because they likely have friends in the same space or business partners or whatever in the same space, and ask them, can they refer you? Because if you did a good job for them and you actually provided real value, like you helped them either save money, make more money, speed up operations, whatever it is, you don't have to be scared of asking them for a referral, and they will almost very likely refer you to someone. And the last thing I want to talk about is when do you want to hire? So you want to hire when you're stretched too thin, right? When you can't anymore do admin for your business, when you can't service all your clients alone. If you are looking to expand, so you need to hire another salesperson. So don't hire too fast, but also don't hire too slow. I made the mistake of not hiring, and I lost a whole bunch of clients because of that. The first hire I would say is hire someone who can help you with appointment setting. Why? Because then they can book you more appointments while you focus on servicing your customers. Once you do that, and you still want to take care of the sales, right? Because you know your service the best. Once that's going well, I would hire a person to take care of all your admin tasks. So sending customers proposals, invoicing them, taking care of all the admin on weekends that you usually have to do on weekends that you can't do during the week. After that, I might hire an actual salesperson, and then someone who can actually actively do the service that I am providing myself. Once you've got that, then you can actually just focus on helping steer the organization. And honestly, for service-based business with modern day tools and modern day AI, I don't think you really need more than that, except unless you have like 40 clients a month that you're servicing. Obviously, then you're going to have to hire quite a few more people. So, and just remember, this is not a get-rich-quick game. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Screw what social media is telling you that it's easy to build a business and you'll do it quickly, etc. No, you need to be willing to do this months on end, consistently, without closing one client. Like I said in the beginning, I spent 7 months before signing my first customer. 4 to 5 meetings, presentation, demo, sales calls every single week for 7 months. and it was just no, until I eventually got my break. So be willing and be honest with yourself that it's going to take time. It's not going to be easy. If you are prepared to do what it takes to get there, then you will succeed. It's just hard work, immense consistency, extreme resilience. And if you have a good service and you know you can provide real value, you'll be fine.